Welcome in. It's Hold My Banner. I'm George Balekji in for Travis Thomas. We got a stacked show for you guys today. Ben Simmons discussions go on, especially after the latest video we saw of him with his offseason workout. Stop me if you've seen it or heard it before and the hype that comes with it. Our preseason previews continue. We'll be talking Chicago Bulls, a team that should be in the rebuild, but has a lot of talent. We'll see how they can fare this upcoming season. A'ja Wilson, second ever unanimous MVP in WNBA history. We'll talk her. We'll talk Caitlin Clark. We'll talk Sun Fever as well in that postseason opener. We got a little stop when you hear me say a player better than Paul George, talking PG-13, whatever number he's rocking these days. And with Bryce Young being a bust, what current bust in the NBA do Ountae and I want to see get a second go and get a second chance? Let's bring him in. Walking, talking, triple-double by way of UTEP, by way of Fresno, from LA. Ountae, Campbell. How we doing today, my man?
I'm doing good, GB. I'm just excited because you and me, when this episode comes out, we'll be on our way to watch the Celtics on Media Day. And I just can't wait to see the big old smiles on the Jays and Porzingis and Drew Holiday and the rest of the staff, because they deserve to smile for winning that championship for this city, man.
Is Jaylen Brown wearing the hat at Media Day?
Yes.
The NBA Finals champions hat? You think he is?
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, okay.
Season's here. Doesn't matter what you just did.
Yeah, we'll see.
You think he'll smile? You're saying smiles. You think Jaylen Brown will smile?
Yes. Yes, he's had a great summer. He's had a great summer. Now, I understand what happened with USA, but, you know, he's
other than that, he's up.
He's up. So, you know, he's had a great summer.
He is up. We'll see if Jason Tatum, how he's doing too. Tay, I'm going to bring you back in a minute. I sent you this video, and everyone knows what it's about. We've seen the latest Ben Simmons video. It's him pulling up, taking shot after shot, edited together, so it's not consecutively. Basically, shots he'll never take in a game. And we've seen this like 20 times at this point of Ben Simmons offseason workout videos showing off his jumper in shots that he'll never take in a game. And everyone's going, I mean, that's an exaggeration. It ended with him lining up all around beyond the perimeter, hitting 3 after 3. He's taken 36 three-pointers in his career. 36 in the regular season in his career. At this point, I don't care about the Ben Simmons workout videos. If you are smart and you follow the NBA, or if you're a Sixers fan, well, if you're a Sixers fan, you're laughing. If you're a Nets fan, you should be laughing and crying. If you're an NBA fan, you just ignore it and you move on, because we've seen it go and go again. Just think of the Ben Simmons we've seen since 2021. Let's start with 6/20/21, Game 7, Sixers versus Hawks. 4 shots in 35 minutes played in a Game 7. Passed up that wide open dunk in front of Trae Young to pass the ball, because he was shooting literally the worst free throw percentage in the history of the postseason. Worse than Shaq, worse than Wilt. He didn't even want to go and be strong at the rim at 6'10", around Trae Young, because he didn't want to get to the free throw line. He had 0 shots in the fourth quarter in 5 of those 7 games. Then you go into 2021 and 2022. Held out from the 76ers due to his back. And that goes from a fall he had in February 2020. Returned for the bubble playoffs. Played 58 games the following season. Then the moment he began a holdout after 2021, and then the Sixers say, you have to show up, all of a sudden his back started acting up. Because that's something you can't test. That's something that you can't figure out. Only the person dealing with it can. And then it went into his mental health. 57 games played the last 3 seasons since that 2021 Game 7, including that season he lost holding out before he was traded to the Nets. He's said to be a go and a full go October 1st for training camp for the Brooklyn Nets. He's 28 years old. Last year of a 5-year, $177 million extension. He signed with the Sixers before holding out that year too. Look, I don't care about workout videos from Ben Simmons. 36 career attempted threes in the regular season. 59% from the free throw line over the course of his career, but that's really doing him, a justice and saying he's better than what he actually is. Don't tell me someone can shoot and then I see them 59% from the free throw line, because that tells me what they can do. What I want that 16, 7, and 8 Ben Simmons. That all-defensive Ben Simmons. If you never have a jumper, that is an indictment on you, Ben Simmons. But stop with the videos. There has to be maturity, because those videos don't come out of a gym without him saying yes. He's not like, oh, I didn't know you were rolling. Oh, cool, you got those jumpers. Yeah, put it out. Which also, if it was at that point, say no. You want maturity and you want awareness. And if he had any awareness within him and his circle, they would say, stop. Just show up and play. Especially at 28 years old, entering the last year of his deal. At 6'10", a guy that you can run an offense through, at least as a passer, and dictate so many things from the nail. I mean, we've seen that happen time and time again. Defensively, what he could bring with his length, with his talent, with his handles as another ball handler, take the shooting out of it. Good coaching could get the most out of him. If he wants to be a reserve in the playoffs, but be a defensive stopper, that's fine. Give me that Ben Simmons. I'm just done with the putting the videos up of him working out. I understand his trainer will say he'll be back better than ever. He's going to hype up his guys like that. But for a guy that's dealt with mental health issues and dealt with a bad back, you know what these videos do? That adds more pressure. That adds more anxiety for you to get onto the floor. It can be too much, and I understand that. Show up, play with that God-given ability and frame, making $40 million a year. I'm just so done with these videos coming out of him. And this is where it gets to a point of for him to say, stop. Show up at camp. Show your full go. Show something for Brooklyn. Mikal Bridges is gone. Like, it's you now. You are the guy. If you even want to show up. Because I say it again. February 2020, hurt his back, missed a bunch of games. Played 58 games the following year. Then all of a sudden, when he didn't want to play for the Sixers, his back started acting up again. And when they challenged his back, it was mental health. He's gone through a lot. He's gone through a lot of pressure. Playing in Philly isn't easy. I will never say that. It's the most difficult NBA market, in my opinion. Worse than New York, worse than Boston. Philly's a different breed. But when these videos keep coming up, and it's been 57 games played the last 3 years, stop. Stop showing off your shooting and just show up. Let's bring my boy Tay back in. Tay, I loved Ben Simmons at his peak powers, and which I would hate on him for never having that jumper.
Yep.
But his handles, his finishing around the rim, what he could do defensively too. Guard 1 through 5. You know how valuable that is in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I'm done with this BS with the jump shot. It's never going to be there, and I don't care. But how talented he is with his God-given ability, I just want to see him on an NBA floor. Maybe he does it now because it's a contract here, but I don't know, bro. But just stop with the videos. I'm not falling for it. Anyone that does, shame on you.
No, and I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it either. Here's my thing, though, George. Like, you have little faith in the workouts that these NBA players go through and their ability to change their careers in a drastic way. Now, I'm not telling you that Ben Simmons is going to be a good shooter this year because that's probably not going to happen. Nope. He missed a lot of time over the last 3 seasons, like you said. It's going to take time for him to be healthy in the gym, working on his jumper to get the confidence to shoot threes. Hopefully his mental health is all right because honestly, that's a big part of the game as well. When you're going out there every night and you're not thinking straight, that makes it hard. You know, being a professional athlete is a mental game, especially when you're Ben Simmons' height, size, with his athleticism. It's not really about playing basketball. It's about what you have between your ears. And so hopefully he has that right. But I want to say this. Look, you say, oh, Ben Simmons, 36 attempts from 3, blah, blah,
59% from the free throw line over his career.
When I look at other bad shooters, right? I look to 2 guys who were not shooters early on in their career, right? And I go to the first guy, which is Rajon Rondo. In college, we had a 3-tier system. If the guy could really shoot it and you have to get out there, it's a Curry. If the guy can shoot it a little bit, but he's, half shooting, half put it on the deck, that's a Wade. If he's a non-shooter, as in do not close out. If you close out, you will be sitting on the bench next to coach. That was a Rondo. And Rajon Rondo went from being that known as that guy to be a non-shooter in the NBA game to being a guy later on in his career to shoot 35 to higher upper 30% from 3 in games. So I seen that, and I know that if he can do it, anybody can become a shooter. Another guy that I like too, because I told you I'll give you 2, Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez, through the first 8 years of his career. Now, you will get me is he was a good free throw shooter, George. So he did show some range of touch before. But the first 8 years of his career, he was 3 for 31. 3 for 31 total. over his entire NBA career through those first 8 years. And now last year, he's shooting 400 attempts in a season. Mm-hmm. And he's been shooting high 37, 36% from three. So he's a good shooter. So if these two dudes who took so long to get their NBA shooting to go, and we're looking at a Ben Simmons who's in like year 8 or so, not next year, not this season, but eventually, if he has his mind right, he could become a decent, I'm not going to say good, decent NBA shooter in this league.
You know what Brook Lopez and Rajon Rondo do, though, Tay?
What?
They love the game.
They do.
Ben wouldn't show up. And I think that's my hesitancy, and that's why I hate this video the most. If you come up shooting cool, are you going to play? Are you going to play?
Yeah.
Because that back, like year 1, you go, all right, he has a bad back. I get it. Year 2, year 3, with the resources, access to medical treatment, the doctors that he can have. But again, you can't challenge anyone on a back. Like only they know how it's serving him. It's not a knee, it's not feet, whatever it may be.
Yep.
That's my thing with him. Stop with the video. Stop with the same BS. Stop posting you shooting. No one cares because you don't play.
Yep.
Now, he'll probably play because it's a contract year. Who's going to give him a deal? What are you going to do, a vet minimum?
Yeah.
Will he want to show up for that? Which is all he should get because, again, you got all that money, you played, and then you held out. And you didn't have confidence to go strong against a rim around Trae Young.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a mockery of the anxiety that comes at playing at that level.
Yep.
In front of an arena full of people and a national audience, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dispel that. It's hard for me to buy it when you say back and then Sixers say show up and then you go mental health.
Yep.
And then you're going to post these videos when you haven't shown up for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
You know what this does? Our conversation, Ben Simmons' whole career so far up to this point. It just boosts LeBron's legacy. And I hate to say it, but dude, this is what the pressure of being pegged as the guy can do in a negative way. LeBron had to live with these same issues, these same pressures, right?
Yeah.
Of like, oh, he's the next Jordan, he's the next da-da-da-da-da, he's the same, he's the kid that was
16?
promised. Chosen one, all of this stuff. Ben Simmons came in with those same expectations. Oh, this is, and I know we do this every 3 years. It's oh, here's the next LeBron. Zion, here's the next LeBron. You know what I mean? Ben Simmons, here's the next LeBron. But Ben Simmons really had that, label on his head. LSU got into the tournament just off the fact that Ben Simmons was supposed to be the guy. Yep. You know what I mean? They didn't deserve to get there, but they were in because Ben Simmons was supposed to be the great hope.
Yep.
And so we see what that pressure can do to a player, and it's sad that it's affected Ben so much until this point. It's easy to hate on this dude because he's had so many great things given to him, right? High athleticism, you know what I mean? All of that type of stuff. But at the same time, he is a person, and I want to see him do well. I don't want to see him struggle. So hopefully this year, for his sake and for the Nets' sake, he starts to figure it out and turn the tides because I'm like you. Those years when he was at his peak, man, it was so much fun to watch the 76ers. So I would hope to see that again.
He was special. Tay, if he shows up and he plays 75 games,
yes,
and he attempts 3 threes all season long, I'll be cool with it.
Yeah.
He showed up and he's playing.
Right.
Like, get me 32 minutes a night. What he does at both ends of the floor. What he does as a handler going full court. And how strong he can attack the rim. Like, that's what I want. That's what I love. I also loved Ben Simmons in college for the sheer fact that he showed up first semester.
Yep.
Second semester, he said, I'm not going to a single class. I'm here to get into March Madness and go to the NBA. Yep. You think I'm actually going to show up? And his GPA was terrible. Play the system, Ben, which he did. Because the system plays every college hooper.
His NIL would have been crazy. But all right, we're talking about the Nets. Let's talk about another really bad team in the East, the Bulls. You obviously told us that this is who we're going to be previewing. Yeah. George, how do you feel about this Bulls upcoming season and their offseason that they had this summer?
I'm waiting for the rebuild to go into full go. I need to see them trade Zach LaVine. They obviously parted ways with DeMar DeRozan. They traded to Alex Caruso. Yeah. Like, they got rid of key pieces. LaVine's the next to go because the return they can get can be a lot for him. Like, it's a huge contract. That's what's been tough to move.
Yep.
But let's go through real quick. I always like to open. Lost Alex Caruso, lost DeMar DeRozan, added Josh Giddey, added THT, signed Jalen Smith, 3 years, $27 million, good center that can shoot.
Yep.
But here are the question marks.
Hold on. Don't forget your boy Drummond. You know, they lost him too.
Yep.
That's a big loss as well.
Yep, a good vet too. You're right. You're right. Lost Andre Drummond as well. He's now in Philly.
Yep.
Man, Zach LaVine, 29 years old. Foot surgery cost him last season. Just 25 games played. At best, you can get a guy that can average you 25 points a night. Obviously, he's very demanding, needs a ball in his hand a lot.
Yes.
A team like the Nuggets can use him. They need him. Like, that should be a deal that should be done yesterday. As of the time we're recording on my banner, hasn't happened yet.
Yep.
I want to see LaVine moved. I think it'd be best for him. It'd be great if he landed with the Denver. And it'd be great for the Bulls and Billy Donovan. Hit reset. Blow it all up. Giddey's going to average a triple-double for you possibly. Not really, but he's going to get damn close. He's going to be a high-usage, heavy ball handler guard. Like, LaVine's not going to work with this core. Credit to him, the reports that you pointed out of him being a vet and showing up, though.
Yeah.
And buying in. But you showed me that report. I go, I love that. He's showing to other teams he's healthy and he will go. That's what's big on LaVine right now. So this team, it's tough for me to talk extensively with them without bringing up Zach LaVine. And it's tough to talk extensively about them without bringing up Lonzo Ball. Missed the last 2 seasons. Meniscus, there's debris cleared, still feeling pain. It's literally puzzled doctors. And he's been playing, but getting through training camp, like we don't know how his knee's going to respond. Patrick Williams still hasn't played 5-on-5 ball yet, Tay. After surgery he had last year on his foot.
Yeah.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
It is, and that's all it is for me too. Here's my thing. I have the biggest question mark for me is why did Reinsdorf extend Billy Donovan 2 years ago? You know what I'm saying? He must, Billy Donovan must have a video of his phone of Reinsdorf being at a Diddy party or something, bro. Because my thing is he's shown the inability to coach this team for many and many of years, right? Now they have young, talented guys. I mean, they've always kind of had young, talented guys. Obviously, they're going to focus on those guys now because, they, like you said, DeMar has walked. Caruso has walked. So now they have to really buy into the young, talented guys. But they should have had players who we think of in a higher light. They have no players on this team that I'm like, that guy's going to be good in 10 years. That guy's going to be good in 5 years. Their future looks bleak, and it's cool for you to say that, rebuild. But they've been picking in the lottery for a couple of years now, and to walk away with these guys who I'm not saying are bad NBA players. I think Coby White could be a good NBA player. I think Ayo Dosunmu could be a good NBA player.
Love Ayo
I think
Dosunmu.
all of these guys could be good NBA players, but my thing is, why I'm saying they should have fired Donovan years ago is none of these dudes have developed into guys that we thought they were going to be. Coby White is just now getting there, right?
Yeah.
He's just now getting there. But like you said, Patrick Williams was supposed to be a guy. He was supposed to be a Kawhi Leonard type dude coming into the league. You forget that he's in the NBA.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that, you look at Ayo Dosunmu, who was supposed to be a good guy for them coming in last year. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what Modest is after this year. And we're going to see how many, years down the line what Billy Donovan does with Modest. But my thing is your job was to win. You didn't do that. So then your job became to develop talent, and you couldn't do that. So what are you as a coach? I don't know. So why did they extend you? I don't know. And that brings me back to this point, George, that I want to ask you this question, all right? I clearly don't think any of these guys are going to be future all-stars on this roster. I clearly just laid that out. Do you think any guys on this current roster will be a future all-star in this league?
Ceiling-wise, it should be Williams, but he just can't stay on the floor. Dude, he can't average more than 25 minutes a night. Like you said it. You laid it out. The frame he has, everything that's there for him, he can't seize it.
Yep.
Coby White, was terrific last season, averaged almost 20 points in 33 minutes a night.
Yep.
But with how guard-packed the East is, he's not going to make it. They have no all-stars.
Right.
They have none. I can't.
What about Dalen Terry? Down the road? Dalen Terry? Arizona kid? He got a chance?
Yeah.
He averaged 3 points a year,
if we're looking,
points a game last year.
How far ahead are we looking? They're saying down the road.
Ever. Ever.
5 years. 5 years?
Any of these dudes on the roster ever. Josh Giddey?
No, Giddey, can he get a shot? Literally, can he develop a shot? I think, again, we're looking at how the East is and how deep so many of these teams are with the young talent they have as well.
Yeah.
It's just a void of talent in Chicago. Dude, their win total set at 27.5. Do you believe that?
Yes, I can't believe
it should
that.
be like 35, 27?
No, I can't believe that because of what I just told you.
We
they
don't know
don't
who
have any young talent that I am excited about or anybody else is. Clearly.
The only names they have, too, LaVine, 25 games played.
Right.
Lonzo Ball missed the last 2 seasons.
Right.
And then Patrick Williams, I think he played under 45 games. Those are their 3 biggest names.
Right.
You have Coby White, you have Ayo Dosunmu. They got nothing, bro.
Right.
They got nothing in Chicago. And it's Chicago.
Right.
It's Chicago. It should be one of the most storied franchises in sports.
It should be.
Jerry's Reinsdorf. You said it. Like, why did he extend? He's known. It's with his White Sox. Loyal to a fault. Doesn't fire anybody.
It's insane.
Sticks with his guys too long.
I'm going to go back to the question marks because another question mark that I had, obviously, was what can we expect from Josh Giddey and Lonzo Ball? 2 big question marks for this team. Obviously, you talked about Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is a big question mark for this team, whether they're going to trade him, what they're going to do with him. I think a statement came out earlier today that he's going to be obedient and listen to the coaches and get out of the way of the young
nice.
talent
like,
or whatever.
We want to trade you. If you want to land in a good team, you got to act better.
Yes, but what can we expect from Lonzo and Giddey?
I don't know if Lonzo can play, man. Like this knee that he's dealing with is such a like some of the smartest doctors in the world that he's gone to have no idea what they're looking at. And he's lost 2 years off his career. Yeah. At least he's playing 5-on-5, but like, can you get through training camp, let alone an 82-game season? So Lonzo, my expectations are the bare minimum. Like, okay. I don't even know if he'll play a game. I assume he'll be back, but it's hard for me to even say. With Giddey, I mean, he's going to be the main ball handler. He's going to be a focal point. Yep. Good passer, awful shooter. But with a team that's in a rebuild and just wants to see what they get from their talent, he's going to get a lot of minutes. He's going to get a lot of touches. And I wouldn't be surprised if with Giddey, you have him averaging like 16 and 10 this season, actually. Maybe 16 and 9. Let me be a little more basic on his assist numbers. And that's what I have, but it's nothing good. It's still going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, what I expect in the first half of the season is not much from the 2 of them. I'm really high on Giddey actually this year. I think that this team needed a facilitator, and I think he has that. Coby White can slide more into the 2 guard position for them. Giddey probably starts the year off the bench. We'll see about that. But what I think in the second half of the year is Giddey is actually going to be a really good player for them because they're probably going to get rid of LaVine, hopefully for picks. If they can get somebody who's young and talented and has some upside, sure, at that as well. But I'm hoping that they at least get 2 first-round picks for Zach LaVine. I don't know if he has that kind of cachet anymore, but NBA GMs make a lot of questionable decisions from time to time. So I think that is possible to get 2, maybe even 3 first-round picks for a guy like Zach LaVine, who you said is a 20-point scorer. Obviously, he only played 25 games last year. But they need to kind of open up that guard position, right? Like you said, can Lonzo play? Who knows? We don't know. If he plays 50 games for them, that would be amazing, right? But other than that, they have Ayo Dosunmu. They have THT, who played a lot of minutes in this league and is now kind of a veteran, averaging 10 points last year for the Jazz. He's a good, you know what I mean, NBA player. Coby White, obviously, you know he's the guy that needs the minutes, the touches, all of that stuff, because he's shown with the increased touches that he's learned. He's getting a lot better. I see him as like a Darius Garland kind of player. Not a star, but a really, really, really good starter in the league. And then you have Nikola Vucevic, who's going to be down there to, man the paint for them. They just need to clean up some of that guard issue, that guard traffic.
Guard issue or garbage? What did you just say?
Guard issue. There's just traffic, and there's a lot of unknowns here.
It's crazy. It's a lot of talent.
Duarte, Javon Carter, Dalen Terry, Ayo, Coby White, Josh Giddey. I just named all the guards for you. There's a lot of questionable talent, though. Like, we don't know what these dudes are, and so they need to figure that out. And by doing so, they need to get rid of Zach LaVine. Last thing I'm going to ask you about this, and we're going to move on. Are there any bets that you like from this team?
I'll go under on the win total.
Okay.
It's low.
27.
And if Lonzo plays, it's going to be tough. But you know what I'll say for this team? I won't bet it. Just stay away. Yeah. There's no reason to watch this team this year. Yeah. There's no reason you should tune in for a game unless you're playing your squad or you want to check in on Giddey. But aside from that, there's nothing with this team, bro.
Yeah, the thing I'll do is once Zach LaVine gets traded, because it should happen sometime during this season, or maybe even in the coming weeks before the season starts, I will be hitting on Coby White overs every game.
That's
every single
smart.
game.
I like that.
So hopefully until they figure out that he's actually a really good scorer. But
right, and then that number jumps up.
Right.
What? How high is it?
Yeah, 35. Nah, I'm good. under.
The second you see it over like 25 and a half, they're gonna be like, "What is Vegas doing?"
Yeah. I would be like, I'm out of the way. I'm out of the way. All right, I'm tired of talking about losers. Let's talk about some winners. A'ja Wilson won WNBA MVP for the third time. George, three-time MVP. Unanimous. How do you feel about her great accomplishment?
It's awesome. First 1,000-point score in a season. She got snubbed from MVP last season. And she went out and said, F it. F y'all. I'm going to do something you've never seen before.
Yep.
Try and stop me. And they couldn't. Averaging 27, 12, and 3 blocks as well.
Yep.
We've said it. This is like the third time, and we'll say it. We might have witnessed the most dominant WNBA season we've ever seen by her for what she did scoring, to average 27 and over 10 rebounds a night, offensively, defensively too. And she carried this Aces team nonstop. Like, talk about players that show up. Talk about players that are just the epitome of being a professional. That's A'ja Wilson. Unanimous MVP. The second ever to do that. I loved everything we saw from her. It was awesome to see her get this award. Third time in her career. Yeah. I'm not bored with her getting the MVP award. She's the best player in the league.
I'm not either. And the game that they had on Sunday showed why I'm not bored of her getting MVP. I mean, they went into that game with the Storm through 3 quarters. They're about, couple points, whatever. A'ja Wilson decides, like, hey, we're going to figure this out because of the great leader that she is. She comes to the huddle, lets everybody know, hey, we're not losing this game to the Storm. We have a bigger goal in mind, and we're getting this team out of here, and we're going to let them know who we are. Held the Storm to 2 points in the fourth quarter with no field goals. It was free throws. No field goals in a whole quarter. And they went on to win 78-67.
Bro.
That's the A'ja Wilson that is MVP of the WNBA. She is going to go down as the GOAT once it's all said and done.
I love that. You see what the Heat did?
I did. The tweet. What did they say? A apostrophe what? What was
unanimous.
It? No, it wasn't a unanimous. It was something else. But I saw it. They put the picture of Bam. And then they had the A apostrophe, whatever.
Let me find it.
It's so stupid. I love it.
Heat were the second time I just searched, too.
Yeah.
Oh, A apostrophe random photo of Bam on this lovely Sunday.
Yep. A random. Yeah. Okay.
The admins are cooking, bro. They know what they're doing.
They are.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. And speaking of the admins cooking, WNBA put out this post of A'ja accepting the award. She looks great in the red, dude.
Red?
Yeah, in the red.
The Heat wear red.
Oh, man.
Aces wear red.
The Aces wear red too, George. All right.
Well, it's actually black and silver.
Yes, but they do have some red. And they have red jerseys, George. Like, come on. All right. All right, let's talk about the other WNBA team that we really care about.
Wait, real quick. Shout out Nafisa Collier.
Yes.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
6th year in the league. Averaged 29, 3, and 2. Like, what? And she anchored the best defense in the WNBA as well. She played for the Coach of the Year. It was awesome to see Collier finish second in MVP voting, but then get DPOY.
Here's my thing, too. I want to say this. I'm glad you brought up Nafisa. There was 67 voters who voted for WNBA MVP. All 67 of them gave A'ja Wilson the first place vote. 66 of them gave Nafisa Collier a second place vote, and only one of them had to be New York media because New York
had to be a Liberty, not to Stewie.
Yes, gave one to Stewie, and then gave Nafisa a third place vote. Absolutely awful from you. Shame on that writer. Shame on that voter.
Are ballots public?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. It should be. They should. Because, you need to be exonerated from voting for that awful, awful decision. All right, now let's talk about the Sun. They had a game against the Fever where they came out looking a little shaky, a little nervous. But, man, did they end up blowing out the Fever in this one. I believe the score was 93-69.
Yep.
George, how did you feel about that? What are your takeaways?
Alyssa Thomas, triple-double. 4th in her playoff, 15th of her career.
Yeah.
And we just saw a Sun roster heading into this game, combined 222 playoff games under their belt. Combined.
Yep.
The Fever had 19, none of them being a starter. The Suns separated themselves to a point, and Marina Mabrey was electric, especially in the second half. She was like, Caitlin Clark came out firing in the third. Mabrey matched her shot for shot.
Yep.
Finished 27 points, had 11 in the third, 9 in this fourth quarter.
Yep.
And then credit to the Sun, held Caitlin Clark, 11 points, 4 for 17 from the floor, 2 for 13 from 3. They only allowed her to get 4 shots off inside. Like, what you have to do on the fast break, what you have to do to be making shots at one end to not even allow her to get out and running, and then just to swarm her like this, it was shaky, but they knew how to beat this Fever team. Young, excited, electric, but the Sun at home, that was huge, Tay.
Dude, minus 20 for Caitlin. Minus 20.
That's awful.
And plus minus doesn't say everything, but it tells you a little bit in this game. They went at Caitlin Clark, and that was their whole goal and their mindset. And early on in the game, she, was all right. You know what I mean? Made a couple shots. In the second half, they completely eliminated that girl. And I understand she has a black eye or something like that from Dejanay Carrington hitting her in the face. Some people are saying it's intentional. I say
it was not. It was a basketball play.
It's part of basketball. It's part of her being the physical guard that she is on the defensive end. And honestly, it wasn't even just Dejanay being Dejanay, because I know everyone knows how much I love watching her play basketball because she's such a grit and grind kind of player. But Brianna Jones, like 4 steals, a block, she was all over the place in this game. It was really a team win. We didn't even talk about the, the GOAT of the Suns at this point, DeWanna Bonner. I mean, she had 22, and it was like, that was just old news. You know what I'm saying? Brianna Jones, Alyssa Thomas, Mabrey, they all showed up, and so did the rest of this team. Everybody played their roles. This was a great win for the Connecticut Sun.
Bro, they held the Fever to 40% from the floor. This was the best shooting team in the regular season, the WNBA.
Yep.
That's why we saw Caitlin Clark break the single-season assist record. That's why we saw her be so efficient.
Yep.
They held them to 40% shooting as a team, cut the head off the snake. I'm excited for the Game 2 matchup back in Connecticut.
Yep.
In Connecticut again. We'll see if there's any adjustment by the Fever side, but CT Sun, you don't got to change much.
You don't. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for that. One.
How crazy is it? So the format in the WNBA is best of 3.
Yep.
And it goes, the first 2 games are at the top seed.
Yeah.
But if it goes to a third game,
you got to play that
you're
on the road.
giving the lower seed home court?
Yeah, but travel. It's money. I get it.
No, I get it.
I get what you're saying.
Best of 5? I don't know. Just like you're gonna
once
give them
again, it's money, George.
You're gonna give them the deciding game on the road,
and they got to wrap this up before the NBA season starts. They don't want to compete with that.
Indiana to Connecticut, it's pretty far. You can't go 1-1-1-1. That'd be absurd.
Yeah,
you can't do no.
Especially with the format that they have.
2-2,
when they only have 8 teams in the entire playoffs, or teams are going far away from each other. You don't know. It could end up being the Aces versus the Sun one time, and they have to 1-1-1-1-1. Like, that's crazy. So I'm right there with you.
They got to fix a lot about the playoffs.
They do. All right, George. So you talked about it. We got stop me when you hear a better player than Paul George.
Yep.
PG has changed teams. He's on his way to Philly. He's excited for this season. He's had a great NBA career, but I want to know how you feel about his game right now as it pertains to former and current NBA players.
Yeah, right now, not his prime, not Pacers PG, not before the broken leg. Now Paul George.
So we're going to start off with a guy I know you really like. Jalen Williams, without a Y, out of OKC.
Oh. Keep going.
All right. What about Brandon Ingram?
Keep going. Okay.
What about DeMar DeRozan? Yeah, 2 guys on new teams.
How old's DeMar?
DeMar, I'm going to have to check. I think 35 is what I want to say.
And can DeMar still get you 35 any night, let alone 40?
He is 35 years old. Yes.
Can he get you 30? Keep going. If I got to think about it this much, keep going.
Keep going. All right. What about his new teammate, Tyrese Maxey?
Oh. This is Paul George recreated his game, better shooter from the outside,
Yep.
Like, this is a guy that could be like 48, 42, and 90 from the free throw line, obviously.
Yep.
Can be giving you 24, 25 a night, but can drop 40 on you whenever.
Yes.
And it's what he does on both ends of the floor, too. I got to go Paul George over Maxey because it's both ends of the floor with Paul George.
I knew it would start getting tough around here.
Yeah.
What about this? Your boy, you say Jimmy Harden, but the real Jimmy Butler.
Keep going. Oh, wait, Jimmy Butler. How quick I was for Jimmy Harden.
Yeah, I know.
Paul George showed up and played basketball. We're talking now. Give me Paul George over Jimmy Butler.
Wow, okay. What about this guy? A guy who's getting his jersey retired by 2 NBA teams this year, Vince Carter.
All those all-star years he had with Toronto. We got the last of them out in Jersey.
Peak for a former player.
I know.
Peak.
That's what I'm thinking, those all-star years, that peak VC.
Yeah.
Paul George, and I go Paul George's athleticism. I mean, Vince
Yeah.
can jump out the roof.
Yeah. This is a tough one.
I'm thinking hard on this one.
Yep.
How many do we have left after Vince Carter?
We have 4 more.
4 more. I'm going to say stop at VC.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I think you're right. I think Paul George's peak though, against Vince Carter's peak.
Paul George.
Paul George. But today
Yes.
versus a prime
Thanks for having my back.
New Jersey Nets
Appreciate it.
VC,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna rock with VC
Appreciate it.
on that one.
Who are
All
the
right,
next 4?
We're gonna keep rolling. Reggie Miller,
Oh, Reggie. Stop.
Yep.
Stop.
Kawhi.
Stop. Whoa, wait.
Kawhi's
It's
current.
It's not peak.
Current.
Paul George.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. Scottie Pippen.
Peak Scotty. Stop.
Yeah, and then Kevin Durant. Today.
Oh.
Today.
Stop.
Oh,
KD
okay.
over Paul George.
KD over Paul George. I thought so.
You've learned a lot about me, in my opinion, to Kevin Durant, the respect I have for him.
Yeah,
I took him
it's
over.
KD.
I took him over peak D Wade.
It's KD.
Yeah.
I think 2K has him rated higher too. That's for a reason. I don't always agree with 2K, man.
I like that one. Yeah, definitely like Reggie, Vince Carter, Scottie Pippen at their peak.
Yes.
But then I take current Kevin Durant over Paul George. It says a lot about Paul George.
Yeah.
Like the limited current players that I would pick over him.
Yeah.
If Jimmy Butler played, that would have been a tougher one, but what you doing for me lately?
What did you do it for me lately? All right, George, I want to talk about this. Is Bryce Young a bust in the first place?
Yes.
Now, this isn't a football show. I just want to know your opinion because we saw Andy Dalton do what he did this weekend, dicing up first quarterback in the NFL this year with 3 or more touchdowns and 300 yards. Shout out to Andy Dalton. So is Bryce Young actually a bad football player?
Yes.
Okay.
He can't play at the NFL level, bro. He's throwing off his toes, jumping over his offensive lineman, isn't stellar in anything, and nothing against Bryce.
Okay.
But he's such a physical outlier, and everything they gave up to trade for him, you take him #1 overall, and then Andy Dalton does this in that system with the good pocket and good receivers. I hate to say it, but Bryce Young is a bust.
Okay. So you're saying Bryce Young is a bust.
Respectfully.
I am not a person that's willing to throw out the bust label on guys so early, right? But I do want to know, George, what NBA players that you think, this is your opinion, are busts that you would like to see salvage or you think can salvage their careers?
Oh, you know what's funny? The way I open this, the way I'm going to end it, Ben Simmons.
You think he can? Or you want to?
I want him to. This is more of me seeing guys I want to.
Okay.
Like, I would like to see DeAndre Ayton salvage his career, but I don't think it's there. He's just too soft.
Yep.
Like, it's just what it is. At his size, too. James Wiseman, I don't know. I think there's a lot there. Never given a fair shake with the Warriors.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr hated him. And then you go to Detroit and they don't bring you back. It says a lot. I think he's done.
Yep.
Here's the one, and this is because I want this moment, Ountae.
Yep.
I want Mo Bamba's career to be salvaged because this guy was a huge draft pick, highly touted, and the song is more famous than him. Just picture your team down, 2 buckets, late in the 4th. MC knows what he's doing, puts on Mo Bamba, home crowd's hopping. I got O's calling on my phone. I'm not going to get into lyrics. I'm not going to show. I have awful delivery. And then Mo Bamba comes in, big stop bucket. They play it again, boom, walk off, and it would be sick. So I just want it for the moment. Give me Mo Bamba's career salvaged.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Ben Simmons is a good call out as well. I don't know if I want to see Josh Giddey be a better NBA player because of his off the court issues. So I won't say all of that. But, I think that he can.
Could Karl Anthony Towns be a bust? Can I say I want more from Cat?
You can. You can say you want more, but bust, he's an all-star.
I know.
Come on.
Go. I just had to throw some Cat slander.
My wants that I want to see is James Wiseman. I was really big going into that draft. I thought that he was perfect for that Warriors system, and I honestly understood at the time why you would take him over a LaMelo Ball or take him. At the time they had him higher on their list than they had Anthony Edwards. Now that sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. But, I couldn't understand that. I knew Ant was better than him. But, for LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, at the time, I thought that James Wiseman made more sense for that Warriors team, a team that never really had size, especially with that athleticism and that touch that he showed us for his few games that he played at Memphis and that he showed us in high school during his AAU circuit, playing in his high school basketball games. I understood it. I would love to see James Wiseman have a revitalization of his career because him in a pick and roll situation, when you're telling me that DeAndre Jordan could have a great career playing with a good point guard and having pick and roll to his advantage, being Lob City, all of that stuff, when you're telling me a guy as smart as Wiseman is, because he is a smart guy, a guy as physically gifted as he is, bigger than DeAndre Jordan, jumps as high as DeAndre Jordan, stronger than DeAndre Jordan coming in as a rookie, has more touch than DeAndre Jordan coming in as a rookie, and you're telling me that he couldn't figure it out when DeAndre Jordan may have a shot at the NBA Hall of Fame? Sounds crazy to me, right? So I would love to see Wiseman revitalize his career. I don't know if he can do it.
I know.
But I would love to see it. Another dude that I was also really high on, Markelle Fultz.
That was a good one. That was one I was thinking too.
I think Markelle is a great player. He had all the tools. He had that weird injury / probably
whatever
the yips.
Happened.
You know what I mean? The weirdness that was going on with the 76ers back in that time. I don't know. They have to be the most cursed team in the league or something because, you got Embiid always hurt now.
Ben Simmons.
Markelle gets the yips. Yeah, I don't know. But Markelle would have been dope. And I hope still to this day, every time he, gets hurt and he comes back, I love to see him play, and I love his game. Hopefully he can get that three-pointer figured out and become the great NBA guard that we thought he was going to be.
Out of the 5-6 guys we named, we both said Wiseman.
Yeah.
Like Markelle Fultz, I don't know, is his career better than Ben Simmons?
No, stop.
He hasn't achieved as much.
No.
He never got all NBA or all defense.
Stop. No, stop. Yeah.
But he revitalized and he salvaged his career better than any of these guys.
Yes, he did.
He's made himself more useful than Ben Simmons. Actually. Now, Simmons got close, and early Ben Simmons was elite, but Markelle Fultz salvaged his career. And that's what I want with a Mo Bamba or mainly a James Wiseman. Mo Bamba is just for the song in the moment.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if Wiseman gets that in Indiana.
I don't
know if he gets that opportunity, like that style of offense.
My whole thing with Markelle is last year wasn't a great year for him.
Yeah.
He only played 43 games, and that's probably, why he didn't have the year that he had. Jalen Suggs took off on the defensive end, and they had a lot of young guards.
A lot of guards, like a lot
of these other teams that we've been talking about, like the Bulls. You know what I mean? Yep. They have a lot of young guards, really guard heavy, whatever. So the 7.8 points, it makes me say maybe he regressed a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully he has a fully healthy season this entire upcoming season, and we could get the 14 point, 16 point a game Markelle Fultz. I don't know if that's going to happen in Orlando, but I would love to see it.
It's tough too. There's a KCP there. Yeah. There's Anthony Black.
Yep.
You said Jalen Suggs. Everywhere he's going, everywhere he's going, and everywhere he's been. And he's currently not on any NBA roster. Magic let him go, and then he hasn't landed anywhere. Where does he go? Maybe the Knicks? Get another perimeter player? I don't know.
Yeah, we would love. A
lot of guards in New York, too.
A lot of guards, but they're going to run through him. I would say no because of his injury history. Keep him away from Tibbs. But
keep everyone away
from
a
Tibbs. Roster standpoint, that might make sense.
A lot of guards in Orlando. He's Ountae Campbell. I'm George Balekji. This was Hold My Banner. Wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, please like, subscribe, download, rate, and review. If you're on Nesson's YouTube, hit the subscribe button and go to the podcast, go to Hold My Banner, go to this episode and leave a comment. Tay and I will respond to it. We'll holler at you guys next time. Celtics Media Day is on Tuesday. This is an exciting week. We'll have a special Media Day episode between Tay and myself. We'll be there talking to the Jays, talking to Drew. We'll see if KP's there. We'll ask D. White about what happened in Boulder. No, not really. I'm George. He's Tay. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.